want to talk to the ladies real quick. This is coming from somebody that was 253 pounds. I was not a skinny kid. I got sexually abused when I was 7 years old, and that in return led me to taking out my emotions and putting them on my plate. So I ate and I ate and I ate and I held it in, and I had this um, way of basically like that was who I was, and that was basically how I coped with it. So for me to, as a child, to cope with that, and then to keep gaining weight, and then not having my father that was around and to show me love, and then to just, it was really hard for me then as a teenager to cope with life and to basically want acceptance from every guy that actually gave it to me at that time. So I was like, let me just, what do I need to do to make you happy? What do I need to do to make you happy? And that's carried on even into my adult years. What do I need to do to make you happy? What do I need to do to make you love me? When in return, you need to love yourself, is what I finally realized, that if I love myself, I don't need another man to love me. I don't need to know what I need to do to make him happy so he will love me. So a lot of times when we go through things in life as children, it makes us who we are. When I actually got about 15, 14, 15, I actually became extremely bulimic. And that was actually the smallest I was my entire life. I got down to about 128 pounds. I'm 5'9". For those that are like, oh, 128 isn't bad, but I'm 5'9". So I'm a really tall woman. And so for 128 pounds on that size of a frame, it basically was skin and bones. So it was much to it. My mom was getting worried. I did that for about 3 years, struggled with that a lot until I got saved. And yes, Jesus broke me of that. So praise the Lord. And I didn't really struggle with that after I got saved. But then shortly after that, I dealt with some bad relationships, got into my marriage that I was married for 13 years, got pregnant right away. So I gained a lot of weight back from that pregnancy, and gained actually 70 pounds with my first pregnancy. He was a big boy. He was 10 pounds and 3 ounces, 22 inches long. No, I did not have gestational diabetes at that time. A lot of people thought I did. I didn't. I just had big babies. So my second baby was 9 pounds. So but I gained 70 pounds with that pregnancy. So basically that was, I just pretty much gave up. I didn't see myself as big. I was happy being a mom. I was really happy being a mom. I love my kids. And so, but I kept gaining weight. I kept being depressed. I kept not, and when I say this out of love for every guy that did try to give me love, that even from my marriage to, they tried to give me love. And so basically, and I try, you try to find that with other people, not just relationships with other people, when you expect that and rely that from people, whether it be friends or your family or somebody you're with or your children, to make you happy. It's going to be really hard to find that in other people until you ask God to help you find it within yourself. And I'm not pointing the fingers or blaming. We're all of our own people. We all take our own responsibilities, our own actions of how we act and cope with things. And some things it's simply just going through life, living and learning. And when you go through things, it basically makes you experience to where you can cope with things better and learn from those mistakes, basically. So yes, as we get older, we get wiser. So I'm sure I still have a lot more to learn in the next 20, 30, 40 years. So, but I just want to say this for all those women that have been out there that's been hurt, that's been abused, sexually abused, mentally abused, physically abused, told they weren't good enough, they weren't pretty enough, they didn't have a big enough butt, they didn't have big enough boobs, they were too tall. I got made fun of a lot in my life because I was too tall. Actually, I was told by many relationships to hey, can you not wear those heels out on our date because it makes you, my height or taller, and it's kind of embarrassing. And at that time, I didn't think it did a lot to me, but it does do a lot to you when you can't be you. And so, anybody that's told you weren't good enough, weren't pretty enough, it's not. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Once you realize that you're a queen, once you realize you're pretty enough, that you're good enough, that you are able to take that, and you don't need reassurance from anybody else. So for me, yeah, I lost 100 pounds, and I've got on stage since then and competed. And a competition body is completely different from a regular body. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, your body's perfect," but man, I've got stretch marks. I have rolls. I'm your average person. I have cellulite. I know all y'all see that. I'm your average woman, and I don't condemn myself if I have that donut. I know I need to eat healthy because I was pre-diabetic, and I don't want to gain the weight back, and I want to live a healthy, active lifestyle because it makes me feel good. So I know I have to keep my diet on track, but for the most part, I wake up every day now, and the first thing I do is I say, I love you as you are. And I look in the mirror and I tell myself that. I look myself in the eye because it's important when you make eye contact. And I tell myself every morning, I love you as you are. The first day I said that, I cried. I couldn't even get it out. I couldn't even utter those words to myself, that I love you as you are. Finally, after about the third or fourth day of saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tell myself, I need to love myself. Like, this is crazy. Who can't just tell yourself, I love you? But there was something about looking myself in the eye and saying it with deep conviction that I love you as you are, that woke something in my spirit. And I knew then I needed to love myself as I was. I needed to love what I've been told. I have a big forehead. I've been told that my arms are too short, my butt wasn't big enough. I've been told that I have too big of thighs, and I just, so much. And, it doesn't even matter, because at the end of the day, we lay down with ourselves. We have to be happy with ourselves. And so my thing to you is love you. Love you. There's only one you. There's nobody else like you. Just love you. And believe me, that's going to make a world of a difference in your happiness, how you see yourself, how you see others. Start with loving you, and then everything else just kind of folds together and just mends together, and your heart starts mending. Anyways, so it's a little bit about myself. Hope y'all have a blessed day and have a great weekend. It is Mother's Day weekend this weekend, so happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.